back to Lit Sports Online, and this week we have coverage for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view that's coming up this Sunday. I'm Justin, this is Gerald, and you know him from Couchside, Mario.
Hello, good evening.
So, Royal Rumble, of course, you know, is the first stop in the road to WrestleMania, and we will be covering the next three WWE pay-per-views in depth. But, of course, the first one is Royal Rumble, and this Royal Rumble is something special. Actually, in the last 2 weeks, it was determined that WWE legend Kurt Angle will be inducted into the 2017 WWE Hall of Fame class. Not only is he inducted, but he is also headlining that class, which is huge because people have been rumoring since he left the company to go with TNA that he may make a return. Could this be the moment that he makes his return? I think there's more at stake here than him just being in the Hall of Fame. I think he's coming back.
That's true.
I think he might show up for a few matches. I don't think he's physically healthy enough to do a full-time schedule, but look what they did for Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, you know, Undertaker.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a lot of big names going on. There's a lot.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, just yesterday we saw The Undertaker just coming out of nowhere in the ring. And, however, I do have a wild card.
What?
A crazy theory. Perhaps Finn Balor will come out of nowhere.
Finn Balor
as the Demon King.
Wow!
And take the belt.
I forgot about him for a second.
Yes, because he's been MIA since like August of last year.
He injured himself, had to drop the belt.
If you think about it too, two other wrestlers have done this before.
Daniel Bryan?
No, Edge.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he came out of a hiatus as well as John Cena. They both came out of a hiatus to win the Royal Rumble.
You know what? That's something, you know, and I follow a lot of wrestling blogs online, and that's something I have not heard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, most likely you're hearing from us first that
Finn
Balor might make a return this weekend.
And if you actually pay attention to Twitter, apparently his doctor has cleared him for battle.
Wow.
It's all but confirmed right now, so you never know. But I put my card in for Finn Balor.
But before we get to predictions, man's hyped. Before we get into predictions, I do want to talk a little bit about Kurt Angle because for us older wrestling fans, you know, Kurt Angle was one of those staples in the company, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he really was. You know, he really had a following, didn't he? As more of a heel on the show, I would say. You know, the whole "You suck" chant classic. He's been in some really important matches over the years, and you know, I have to say we're gonna miss him from WWE.
Yeah, I mean, we've missed him already for the last almost 10 years. What has it been? It's been about 10 years or so. Gosh, he's been gone for a little bit now. But I mean, you gotta think of his feuds. He's been in feuds with Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H. I mean, some of the biggest feuds in WWE history, at least in the peak of the Attitude Era, he was involved. A very integral part of what a lot of people don't remember. One of my favorite, against, you know, popular belief, that invasion when WCW and ECW came and tried to take out. He defected to WCW, obviously because they didn't have the talent to compete against the WWE, but still the fact, he was a big part of that. So I'm curious to see if they let him wrestle in the Hall of Fame, because, as I said, it'll add to already what seems to be virtually a Legends Royal Rumble. You have Goldberg, who had came back, you know, recently to take on Brock Lesnar. And I mean, as a huge Goldberg fan, I was hyped. I'm not gonna lie. Brock Lesnar, who, of course, had a couple of stints with the UFC, you know, in and out of that. And now he's back at what seems like, I think he's probably going to be back with WWE for a while now.
Oh, yeah.
But then, then you have the aging Undertaker, who, I mean, he looks good for his age.
He does, but he's waning, man.
He is. I think this is his last run.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually seen pictures of Undertaker like on a walker. Like he's pretty much near the end. Like
I think
it's actually surprising he can even do matches anymore.
And even though Goldberg is kind of hitting it there in his years, he's still at the cusp.
Yeah.
Like the waning part of his prime. Like he's. I mean, just between him and Brock Lesnar, that was a battle for the ages.
I mean, the fact that, I mean, he beat Brock Lesnar in what, maybe 2 minutes? I saw the match and it was like that. But, I mean, he looked good for his age.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
He's still got the raw power.
It was like, he has that raw power. And, I mean, what is he, reaching his 50s? I mean, that's something to be said. But before we get into Royal Rumble predictions and getting a little bit more in depth, because I do see this Royal Rumble as a very interesting one. We have a couple of matches that may play a huge part in the Royal Rumble. First up, you have Roman Reigns challenging Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. And historically, usually the loser of that match goes on to fight in the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Roman Reigns, who won it last year, you know, I'm wondering is he going to beat Kevin Owens? I don't know. I do see Kevin Owens possibly pulling out something. I don't think the title changes hands here. I think Kevin Owens takes it to WrestleMania. I do. I see that happening. But then again, I mean, WWE loves Roman Reigns, you know.
Yeah.
He's kind of pegged as the
tough one.
Yeah, it's a very tough match, but I honestly don't see Roman Reigns winning this one. I know Justin, you know, new school.
Well, I know a little bit about these guys, and you know, I actually do think Roman Reigns is going to win.
It wouldn't surprise me, actually. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to happen for sure, do you?
Yeah, you just never know.
Absolutely. I don't know, man. It is a tough one, and I mean, personally, I prefer Roman Reigns' style of fighting over Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens just looks like a dirty Dina boy to me.
Oh, wow.
But aside from that, I would put my money on Roman Reigns on this one.
I do.
It'd be a much satisfying victory.
It would be more well thought, and I could see, you know, someone along the lines of I would like to see actually, for the simple reason that Finn Balor may or may not come back. If Finn Balor say he wins, I would like to see Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, main event WrestleMania, literally NXT 2.0.
They need to squash this Universal Championship that they're splitting.
I mean, the belt has to be split. I mean, you have two different shows, and you have two different champions because in the next match, John Cena is challenging AJ Styles for the WWE Championship.
Right.
And with John Cena, he's kind of in that same position The Rock was a few years ago, where he's very involved in Hollywood, doing acting. He has a couple of shows out. How much longer is he going to be in the squared circle? How long is he going to be in the WWE?
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he walks away with the title right here, but I don't see him staying in the company much longer. I think this might be his last few months. He might do WrestleMania. He'd definitely do WrestleMania. But I think after that, I think that's where he takes a step back, and I think his sun starts to set.
Yeah.
What do you think, Justin?
Well, honestly, I don't have much thoughts on the match, but what I am thinking about is, like you said, the two different titles.
Yeah.
And that's how it was in the old days when you had the World Heavyweight Championship, you had the WWE, and I thought it worked better that way, man. I think if you got two shows, it makes sense to have two titles. You don't see a whole lot of like cross-brand matches, so if there was only one title, I mean, you might not be seeing it change hands too often.
Yeah, I think it's cool because like you have a guaranteed champion on both shows. Not to mention, it kind of makes it cool with the Royal Rumble because if you're from SmackDown, SmackDown has the main event, but if you're from Raw, Raw has the main event.
Right.
And SmackDown has a couple of fighters in there. I mean, again. Typically, the loser of that WWE Championship match, whether it be John Cena or AJ Styles, one of them is going to be in the Royal Rumble. No question. You also have Baron Corbin. You'll have Dolph Ziggler. You have so many guys. You have Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton. You have guys over on SmackDown. Big names that could come out and do something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who knows? Could Bray Wyatt make a big push? You know?
It's going to be hype.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah. No, but it will be a very intense match on Sunday. I'm looking forward to it.
But 30 men. Out of those 30 men, what are your picks? We already got yours.
Yeah, you already know mine.
Finn Balor out of left field.
That's if it happens. If
it happens, it's out of left field. And I'm not going to lie, like, I hadn't thought about it. But I think someone, you know, I think a Seth Rollins might pop up.
Yeah. I agree.
Or Dean Ambrose.
If Finn doesn't show up, either as him or the Demon King, my money would be on Seth Rollins because he's got that ambition. He's got that hunger. Yeah.
I don't think Dean Ambrose will win. I'd like to see him go far. He did go far last year. He did really go last year, actually. But I think my pick is definitely going to be a Raw guy. I'm going to have to say, I honestly, against popular belief, because I don't think he's going to win, I think Kurt Angle might actually pull off a miracle. I could see Kurt Angle winning because I want to see Kurt Angle back. And I think with this new Hall of Fame induction, I think there's a possibility of a new contract. A sleeper pick. Nobody's expecting him to be there. Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Has he announced?
He hasn't announced, and that's the thing.
Ah, tricky. Yeah, he's going to wait until like Saturday.
Exactly. I mean, someone like that, that's going to be, you're literally not even expecting him.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to like the 20th person, and here comes Kurt Angle. The music pops.
Right.
Boom.
That's true.
I mean, can I take a complete shot in the dark and
Go crazy.
Just say Goldust? Goldust, anybody? I mean, come on. The guy's been like part of the company this long. They need to throw him a bone, you know? He needs to win himself a big-time match like this. I think the best Goldust has really ever done was the tag titles and the Intercontinental.
Yeah.
I want to see him win something big.
I don't think there's a shot in hell that he's going to pull this off. But I am not going to shoot your dreams down. Your shattered dreams. I'm not going to do it. But, nonetheless, it does, you know, with these legends coming back, there's obviously a reason they're doing it. They're trying to entice the older crowd. You know, the guys that are probably in their late 20s, mid-20s, early 30s. You know, those older guys that grew up watching Stone Cold and The Rock and all this. You know, Road to WrestleMania is always exciting. You never know who's going to come back. I do know for a fact, though, that I'm not sure if it's confirmed exactly, but I do know Kurt Angle wants Stone Cold Steve Austin to induct him into the Hall of Fame.
Really?
And I believe it actually is, because apparently when he said that, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin was one of the most generous people in the company to him when he was there.
Nice.
And I can believe it. Stone Cold Steve Austin was definitely, you know, he went in, did his job, did what he had to do. And he helped out a lot of other people. I mean, you see what he does in the development process nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the end of the day, it's going to be exciting Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
I do know we're all getting together to watch it at my house.
Indeed.
So that's going to be awesome. So don't forget Royal Rumble this Sunday on the WWE Network. It's still
Sunday.
It's still only $9.99. Make sure to tune in and yeah.
So that's going to do it for our show. Make sure you watch it on Sunday. We'll be watching, and we hope you have a good night.
Don't forget to like and subscribe below, and thanks again, Mario.
Thanks for having me.
Show. Yeah, man. Gotta get you back on more. But thanks again for being on. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe and share our video and let us know what you think. Take care.